Swede Lowe is a logging instructor. He's been teaching logging in the Longview, Washington area for 11 years. The last 2 years, women have been among his students. The classroom is a buzz of activity with students using and learning words from a whole new vocabulary. Words like three-tuck eye-splice, Molly Hogan's, donkeys, skidders, haulback lines, chokers, and the list goes on. Indeed, the complexion of logging is changing. Gone are the cross saws and the mule and horse teams. Arriving on the scene are power saws, heavy equipment, and women. Part of the classroom work includes practicing some of the outdoor skills necessary for modern-day logging. It's hard work, but Swede believes it's not unlikely women would want to become loggers.
Next knot I'll ask you to tie is called a figure 8, and you can tie that in rope or in cable. I didn't think you could teach logging in the classroom because I had learned to log right out there where the logs were. But in the classroom, you have a controlled situation. You have your materials right handy. You have your tools right handy. You have the blackboard. You have slides. You have film. You have books. You have all the resources in the world, and you can repeat what you're trying to teach over and over and over again within a class period. We're out in the actual job situation. Maybe you see it once a month, once a week, once every 6 months, and you just don't get that chance to teach out on the job like you do here. Now walk in towards the tree.
A little classwork under their belts, they head for the woods. Part of the class includes actual logging. Most of the equipment was bought and paid for through the logging operation. It's here the men are separated from the boys, or in this case, the girls from the women.
The only two things that really scare me is the weather, but it doesn't scare me. It's just one of the things I'm afraid that is going to be the hardest thing to handle, the weather and then the steep inclines. The other things, the trees falling and things like this, if you use your mind and you watch what you're doing and you be real careful, you shouldn't have too much problem. When I first went to class, I went, oh my God, I'll never know this stuff, I'll never learn it. But as it's going along, I'm surprised I've really learned a lot, and I had no background in this before, none. Where are we pulling out? This one?
All right, you're in good position there. Sock your spurs in good. Yeah, sock your spurs in good. Now, lean back into your belt.
I like climbing the best. It's more fun. I don't know, it's more exciting than being down here. I like to look out over everything. It's a lot of fun. I was looking for trying to get into truck driving, but I couldn't get into it because of my driving record. It's not that great. I have a few tickets. I think I like this better now.
I always knew they could do anything anyway, because my mom was a farm woman and she did everything that these gals do. I mean, she drove horses and run a crosscut saw and split wood. You had to on the farm.
Well, my ambition is to eventually have my own gyppo logging operation. But right now I'll start out probably as a choker setter. I know a lot of Jippo loggers around the area. I've logged before with my dad, and that's probably where I'll start, working for Jippo.
The master still falls the trees, but the class takes over from there.
Okay.
Factory repair.
Okay. All right.
Head on straw line.
Learning to perform this function. When you go out on the job, you learn just a little bit at a time. Takes you forever and ever to learn all the tricks that I try to teach these people in 4.5 months. They like to hire my students not because they're finished loggers, because they know all their terminology, they know exactly what they're talking about. I would say that women, as far as running the machinery and splicing, such things as that, do as well or better than the men students. And as you and I both know, if there is a difference, it's a physical difference. So when it comes for a case of sheer brute strength to accomplish a job, they have to back off and analyze a little bit and find some way of doing the same job where a boy or man would just grab it and go ahead and slam through the job. But just running the machinery or understanding logging theory and process and scaling and grading, they're just as good as the men are. Hang on now. We don't have to get production, but my job is to teach them the fundamentals. So we just take our time and do it safe, do it right, do it easy, and I explain as I go along the way. Whereas if I was out here actually to make my living at it, I wouldn't have time to talk to anybody. Keep her going! I'll tell her when to stop! All right, everybody up here. Now, see that limb above your head? That's a widowmaker. I mean a widower maker.
There have been only 2 minor accidents in the 11 years Swede has taught the class, and it's fairly successful. Most students land logging jobs upon leaving the class. But the students are quick to give credit to the instructor. One student told us, "He's the kind of instructor you always wish you had and never got. We're just lucky."
As far as the skills were concerned, they were just barely crawling when we started. Now they're walking a little bit, and pretty soon they're going to fly. Can you imagine me out here playing in the woods with all these women and getting paid for it?